first to welcome you. I'm Norman Dean. I co-chair the Ceres Board of Directors along with Joan Bavaria. And this is a momentous evening for us. You're here able to participate in a first, a true first. This is the first annual Bavaria Awards that bear the name of our Ceres co-founder and my fellow co-chair, Joan Bavaria. Now, the Bavaria Awards recognize, and I'm going to quote the award itself, investors, corporations, and NGOs that have helped move the capital markets from a system focused on short-term profits toward one that balances financial prosperity with social and environmental health. Now, measured against that standard, if I had been on the awards committee, the first Bavaria Award should probably be awarded to Joan Bavaria. As Mindy will describe, few people have done as much as Joan to build sustainability into capital markets, and few have had more impact or been more innovative. Joan is a friend of mine, a mentor, and someone I've admired since we first met in 1990. She really literally held this organization together. It was at her office from about 1989 to 1996 at the offices of the Trillium Asset Management. And those were, as it's reported to me, the good old days where the board of directors would meet 12 times a year for sometimes 16-hour days and argue over what sustainability really meant and which companies to make the Ceres companies. How Joan remained sane in the midst of 12 of those meetings a year is a testament to her determination, her tenacity, and her patience. I think for those of you who know Joan, one of the characteristics that I respect about her so much is her ability to remain calm when everything seems to be falling apart around all of us. And the other thing that I have to say is that few people I know fight harder for the things that she believes in than Joan Bavaria. But you wouldn't know it by just meeting her, because she's such a master at consensus building and bringing people together. I think sometimes that Ceres learned how to build consensus outside of our organization by learning from Joan how to build consensus within our organization. So it's no exaggeration to say we would not be here tonight without Joan Bavaria. So I'm going to turn the mic over now to our President and CEO, Mindy Luber, who has a few words she would like to say about Joan.
Thank you, Norm. Joan, this night really is about you. Joan is my hero. I'm not going to talk too long. I don't have a lot of heroes, or heroines in this case. But Joan is one of them. In fact, Joan may be the only one. Joan is one of those rare people who has vision. I can assure you that in 1989, when Joan came up with the idea of asking corporations to sign a set of environmental principles, how well that was received. People thought, nice idea, never going to happen. People thought, she's a little bit idealistic, but let's get into the real world. It was inconceivable then that companies the size of Ford Motor Company or Nike were interested in doing any number of things. One is signing a bunch of principles. 2 is engaging with NGOs. 3 is reporting their entire footprint, telling the world what they do and how sustainability impacts their company and their financial bottom line. People resisted day after day, year after year. But Joan's vision, Joan's persistence, Joan's ability and savvy to execute, to say, I know this is right. I know you guys can get it if I say it enough times, in enough languages, with enough will and enough conviction. And Joan said it in as many languages as it took, with extraordinary conviction. And she coined terms like corporate and social responsibility and sustainability. And she made it clear, whether it was when she was starting Ceres or the Social Investment Network, that capital markets and sustainability go hand in hand. More laughter, people thought, now she wants the corporate community to move, now she wants the investor community to move. How many delusions or hallucinations could she be having? But Joan wasn't delusional. She wasn't on hallucinogenic drugs. She had a vision. It made sense. She stuck with it. She pushed forth. And she made it clear that sustainability ought to be part of the corporate fabric, and that investment firms ought to be able to measure it, and that these issues ought to be part of the day-to-day Wall Street thinking. And nobody in my mind has done more to move capital markets, to integrate sustainability into the corporate and financial sector, to do so with savvy, with political know-how, with excellence, to bring General Motors to tears in a good way after 10 years of debating this issue. Joan has made that happen, and it is because of Joan that we're all here tonight. I'm not going to take more time, but I do want to salute Joan Bavaria, my friend, my colleague, and my hero. Joan will be back to talk to us in a minute, but first, I'm going to bring Norm back to tell us what's next. Thank you.
Now what you've been waiting for, the first awarding of the 2008 Bavaria Awards. And here to actually announce the winners is Cheryl Smith from Trillium Asset Management. Cheryl's president of the Social Investment Forum. She's an executive vice president at Trillium Asset Management. She's a longtime colleague of Joan's, and she was one of the 5 judges on the awards panel. I give you Cheryl Smith.
The judge panel was Ray Anderson, who is chairman and founder of Interface, the world's top manufacturer of modular carpet and a leader on corporate sustainability. Dennis Hayes, the president of the Bullitt Foundation and organizer of the first Earth Day. Ken Sylvester, assistant comptroller for pension policy of the New York City Comptroller's Office. Mindy Luber, president and CEO of Ceres. And I was lucky enough to be among this group as well as the representative from Trillium. And what I'd like to do is give a little basic information about it. The Ceres and Trillium together designed the Bavaria Awards in honor and recognition of Joan and her life's work. And I'm a little jealous of Mindy because I don't get to talk about how wonderful Joan is except to say she's incredible. Okay. The Joan Bavaria Awards are designed to recognize investors, companies, and nonprofit groups that have contributed specific achievements in moving the capital markets from a system focused on short-term profits to one that integrates longer-term social and environmental factors into investment decision-making. And we are doing 2 distinct awards, each honoring a central aspect of Joan's work, the Impact Award and the Innovation Award. We, in this very first year, had an exceptional pool of nominees. Within that pool, 2 organizations stood out